Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We are going to begin tonight with a surprising Supreme Court ruling against the Trump administration, one that has wide-ranging implications for nearly 650,000 young immigrants known as Dreamers. In a major decision, the court stopped President Trump's move to end DACA. That's the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program that was started under President Obama. The policy gives some immigrants who entered the U.S. without authorization when they were children the chance to come forward and to apply to stay and work in the country. But the Trump administration said DACA was illegal and tried to terminate it, leaving nearly 750,000 young people in limbo. Well, today, supporters celebrated at the court after the justices voted 5-4 that the Trump administration improperly ended the program. The decision, which was written by the Republican-appointed Chief Justice, angered President Trump, who fired back on Twitter. And it creates another heated issue in his re-election campaign against former Vice President Joe Biden, who backs the program. There's a lot of news to get to tonight, and our team of correspondents is covering it all. CBS's Jan Crawford is going to lead us off tonight from the Supreme Court. Jan?
Well, Nora, it was another loss for the president in this newly conservative court. Today's ruling was narrow, but for DACA recipients, it was momentous. For those young people who dared to dream, the decision brought overwhelming joy.
I immediately started tearing up because this is amazing to me.
And an outpouring of hope.
We cried on the phone because it was something shocking that we were not expecting.
The 5-4 ruling, written by Chief Justice John Roberts and joined by the court's 4 liberal justices, said the Trump administration's decision to rescind the Obama-era program was arbitrary and capricious, and that it failed to consider the hardship to DACA recipients. But 3 of the dissenting justices called the decision an effort to avoid a politically controversial but legally correct decision. Coming on the heels of Monday's victory for gay and transgender rights at the court, the president lashed out on Twitter, saying these horrible and politically charged decisions are shotgun blasts into the face of people that are proud to call themselves Republicans or conservatives. President Trump announced in 2017 he was rescinding DACA, saying it was unlawful because President Obama exceeded his authority when he implemented it in 2012 by executive action.
These aren't people. These are animals.
But in a separate opinion, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, the court's first Hispanic justice, says remarks like those create the strong perception President Trump's decision was contaminated by impermissible discriminatory animus. On Twitter, President Obama praised the decision and urged Americans to elect Joe Biden and a Democratic Congress that does its job.
It's like sometimes you fight for stuff and you think it's never going to happen, but we're seeing a turn in people.
Now, the court sent the case back to the Department of Homeland Security to try again to justify why DACA should end. That is not likely to happen before November, which of course means immigration, the makeup of the Supreme Court, again, major issues in the upcoming election. Nora?
All right, Jan Crawford, thank you.